Hi friends, this is Leigh from Agápē Studios. Welcome to Behind the Scenes in my sacred space where all the magic happens underneath my stairs in my basement, where all of this began. So just again, just to give you a tour around. Again, we have, of course, as usual, the defender of the universe, Voltron, and his sidekick Leonardo. He's not angry, he just has a little bit of indigestion, so don't be alarmed by that. They are ever watchful of any negative energies that dare enter my sacred space. And of course, we have him broken down with a few of the figures. And my little gifts here from my sidekick Cassidy. Nice Yoda mug, my magic 8-ball, and this cool rock that my friend Jot made with my logo on it. She painted all that on there freehand. The Agápē Studios logo, really cool. So this week, as you know, I've been working on my next 7 Seals of Revelation. It has, excuse me, yet to have a home. So how exciting it is! I'm working through my waiting list for the next waiting on some responses to see who the next recipient is and where it is going. So piece number 4, very excited for it, and as I work on my pieces, I'll share what comes up for me when I'm working on these pieces. I find it quite interesting just to share and to see where everybody else is on their journey. So let's just go into it here. I am working on piece 1 of 7, again, Muladhara root. And this piece I tune and sound bathe to 396 hertz. The element that it represents is earth, its color is red, and its bija mantra is Lam, L-A-M, L-A-M. And as I mentioned before, this to me is the root or the portal into the physical realm. And when I go inward, what does that even mean to begin to explore something that I can't see within me? And so this is a physical representation of course, the energy centers that is within the human body. And so one thing I wanted to talk about today was meditation and how the process was for me. And when someone, in the beginning of my process, it was it's like, well, you need to go inward. And I'm like, okay, what the heck does that mean? And so and then the next thing was like, and you got to do shadow work when you're there. It's like, okay, wow, what the heck is that? So at this point I have a lot of questions. So my process in that, and this might sound familiar to you because when I began my process, going to yoga classes, studying the philosophy of everything, and what it even meant to meditate. At first I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And so it's just figuring it out as I go. And of course, learning alongside Angela as she was taking her yoga teacher training, I was paying attention, and we would talk extensively on what she was finding. And then as we did that, we started applying the knowledge into our lives and integrating it, and just seeing the difference in our outer experience when we started to understand what was going on within, right? And so a lot of people say, and I hear this a lot, is when I mention meditation. Oh, I can't do that. It's too hard. I can't. And I that was my, that was me, 100%. And and then, so what I understood then after, in my studies, meditation is just quieting the mind and the chatter. It's like, okay, so the only job that I have to do is to quiet the mind. Okay, that's easy, right? It should be. It's you got one job to do, one job, Mr. Manzer. And so I'm saying to myself, it's like, okay, quiet the mind. Let's go within. And so, I'm at a yoga studio, and oftentimes I would leave frustrated at myself because of my expectations of what I would find when I'm trying to go within, and instead of surrendering to the process and stop trying and just let go. But here was my process, and tell me if this sounds familiar. I'd like to hear in the comments. So, I'm on a guided meditation, and my eyes are closed. I'm sitting in lotus position, legs crossed, arms open to receive. And you're guided to follow your breath, and up and down as you breathe in and out your nose. And for me, okay, I got this. I got one job to do, easy peasy. Don't think. Just let it go. Let it go. And then 30 seconds later, it's like, here's my mind. It's like 30 seconds, maybe, if I make it that far, of silence up here. And then it's like, oh, it's Saturday. I got to go do, I got to do the laundry. I got to tidy up. I got all these chores to do. I got an order I got to make. I got this and this and this to do. And then it's like, and then you realize you're in a yoga class, in a meditation, and it's like, oh, right. One thing to do, don't think, just let it go. And just breathe, follow your breath, right? Okay, I got this, no problem. 20 seconds later is like, oh, I gotta, I'm kind of getting hungry. I wonder what I should make for lunch. And then I think I'll take the dog for a walk, and then, oh man, these bills keep, I got to take care of that next week. I just gotta, I'm anxious about it. And it's like, oh, wait, you hear something trigger you in the class to cue you back to, it's like, oh wait, we're in a guided meditation. You get where I'm going with this. It's like every 30 seconds, for my process, my mind was elsewhere. So it's like, yeah, geez, you know what? Shit, this is hard. And for me, it was just unbelievable, but I'm kind of persistent. And I kept practicing and practicing and practicing, and the more and more I understood what it meant to go within, and silence the chatter in the mind that either ties us to the past with depression, or something triggers us that we feel sad or heavy about something that had happened to us in the past. Or we're anxious about all this stuff that we got to do. We're thinking about all of, the busyness of our lives, the distractions that take us away from looking in, because we're always looking at our outer experience, which causes a lot of chatter when we think of the past and the future. In reality, neither exist, only in the mind, and we hold that in the body, with how it makes us feel, the busyness, the distractions, the anxieties, the depressions. And when you're constantly thinking about that, your body is going to feel that in kind of a state of dis-ease, and not being at ease. So as in my process, as I practiced trying to follow my breath and be aware of my breath, and when those thoughts come up, to let them pass without judgment, like a cloud in my mind, and feel it, but be aware that it's a story that keeps playing over in my head. And so to quiet the mind, to let it go and bring your awareness back to your breath, following your breath up and down your spinal column, and and letting the thoughts go. And every time they kept popping up, I was aware of it now. It's like, oh, no, I'm focused on my breath, and no thoughts. And then as I focused on my breath, the thoughts, all that chatter would stop. And now you're in learning more about the yoga and the many aspects of it, the way these energy centers work. When you allow that mind and to storm in the mind to stop via following your breath, you all of those thought processes begin to die, those connections in your brain cells, which allows your receiver, your brain, your pineal gland, to open up and receive information that can't get in because of the weeds. You know, these it can't, you can't tune to that station because you're so distracted. And when you can quiet the mind, it allows you to start to feel these energy centers. And of course, then you can, if you're curious, for me, my process was, okay, well, what do these mean? And that's when I started really studying the Eastern philosophies, yogic philosophies, the Vedas, everything that had to do with chakras, and how they your story is within each one of them. And when you can, I had to just read about them and completely understand what they totally meant. And so when I do my pieces, that's what comes up for me, uh, is is going within and quiet the mind. And that's the meditation for me, is just getting in the practice and practice and practice. And the more you can still your mind, the more and more you receive from your higher self. You allow that transmission when you realize that there's something more to the human experience than we might realize. So that's what comes up for me. The shadow work, that's where, for me, now, my that process was a tough one, because it was learning or remembering to let go of the anchors of how something made me feel, because of such, you know, deep emotional hurt or trauma from this life, or and others, that is carried on, that I had to learn to transmute that energy into something more lighter and pure, through my belief systems. And the more and more I practice, the more and more I found out about myself, to see, if when things triggered me in somebody else, to realize that that's something that I have to look at within myself. And the more and more I practice that, you know, the more and more it was easier to make those shifts within myself, to want to become a better version of myself every day, and practice reacting differently to these triggers that come up, these emotional triggers, these anxieties. And um, you know, it was such a transformation for me. And this is why I'm talking about my process, just, you know, because you know, it was a lot of work, but it is worth the work, to figure out who you are, because that is one of our missions here, is to truly, who are you? And ask yourself that. Look in the mirror, engage a conversation with your soul, asking for help and guidance. You will receive it when you wholeheartedly believe, and that there's something outside of, or within yourself, that exists in a higher dimension, that guides you, your to your highest potentials. So yeah, seeing your shadow work, seeing yourself, uh, you know, through somebody else's eyes, which is only another aspect of yourself, in my opinion. So I'm just going to refer to my notes here. Yeah, check in with your mind and see what is occupying your attention the most, and that's a great place to start. If you're constantly thinking about something that's triggering you in some way, like even on a day-to-day basis, the energy that we hold, we pick up other people's energies, and it's sticky, and it weighs on our mind every day, instead of clearing our thought process and quieting your mind, and letting it go, because when we feel that way, is it really serving us? And in my opinion, it's serving us to ask ourselves, do I want to continue to feel this way, or am I going to learn to react differently, to create a different experience within myself, and allow that forgiveness, allow that non-judgment and compassion to take root in your heart, for other people's experience. That was my experience, in how in my shift, and I'd love to hear from everybody else. I'm just saying, what worked for me. Not telling anybody to that this will work for them. And I am a firm believer that there's many different ways to go within. And to me, it doesn't necessarily mean stepping onto a yoga mat, because for some people that doesn't resonate with. And but there are other ways to do that. Although yoga, in my opinion, is very valuable, um, I am just suggesting that there's other ways to get there. And for anybody that practices yoga, that's a great space to say, yeah, like, it isn't for everybody, and that's okay. Find your way, through your creative spark, through something that you enjoy doing. Like for me, it's woodworking is one of them. You know, so I just encourage everybody to find that excitement within them, and act upon it. And that's a healing way to go within as well. So what else do we got going on here? I want to make a couple more announcements. I want to talk about Angela again, as she continues to impress me. Check out her Tranquil Turtle Bath&Body line. It is really, really cool. I get to experience it all firsthand. She just made this really cool lightweight body oil in these 10 ml roller bottles, and really cool. There's actually little pieces of charged amethyst in there as well. And this is so, I tried this out, and let me tell you, the scent and the feeling that it gave me, and just how it made my skin feel. Like the first words that came to my mind is, like, when I smelt it, it was like, oh, it's so tranquil and calming, is the two words that, interestingly enough, came to my, it made my body feel that way. Really great stuff. We're just waiting for our labels to come in, and this will be part of a bundle that we'll be offering. And just a reminder, Mother's Day is coming up soon. We will have products and gifts and baskets. Also, it's we offer a variety of services. You can check us out at Agápē Holistic Yoga Wellness.ca, www.agapeholisticwellness.ca. And you can check out more stuff there. Now, this body oil, it's essential oil blend, and this is so amazing. It has sweet almond oil, jojoba, MCT, vitamin E, spearmint, eucalyptus, orange, peppermint, palo santo. And so those are all the oils in it, and man, I tell you, It's so worth it. Your mother or anybody, men or women, will love it. These are so cool. This is the Unwind bath, luxurious bubble bath bomb. These are so cool. So that's also, you can check out our pages. We're posting these bundles that we have coming up, and this is really cool. This is lavender, Palo Santo, and selenite bundles. These are really cool. Palo Santo is a great kind of like sage for clearing um, energies in your space. Uh, so yeah, we got a lot of new products coming up with Angela's very busy in the kitchen, cooking up some cool brews in her cauldron. These oils are just amazing. You check out our page too. She just poured a whole bunch of her charged quartz candles. There's a few surprises in it, but it's topped with some beautiful obsidian and amethyst. Check out our page for that. They're just absolutely beautiful. It smells so amazing in here. Um, and also, I have been working or talking to a company here in Edmonton that makes custom cases. And so I had a vision of kind of like an instrument case, like a guitar case, specifically made for my Seven Seals of Revelation, because a lot of people want to bring it to their workshops and things like that. And so for transportation, it's kind of tough to do because this thing is very delicate. And so it'll be kind of like an instrument case where the foam snugs everything up. It will be made so you could probably use it as a display case as well, where behind the glowing lights will bring an ambiance to the room. So that's coming down the pipeline. In my vision, it will be a nice, cool blue color. If you've seen any pictures of my last Seven Seals with my tapestry Om blue blanket behind it on the wall behind our singing bowls, that's the color that I would like, with my Agápē Studios logo on it, as you've seen on the rock there behind. So that's coming down the pipeline. I'm super excited about it. I'm hoping to order one up here just to have it so you can see how it all works, and that will be an awesome addition to my Seven Seals. And if you're interested in that, as far as cost, feel free to message me, or if you would like to become an owner of an authentic Agápē Studios piece, send me a message, and you can be added to the wait list for the Seven Seals of Revelation. Or stay tuned, as in between I'll be making other little pieces to be going out as well, as I like to keep a creative spark and make something new once in a while. And it's exciting to post it and see how fast it goes, which usually within 10 to 20 minutes they're gone. So you want to keep your eye on these announcements, because I announce it on my page. At that point, it is up for grabs, and let the frenzy begin. And it's pretty cool. So that's kind of how I operate. What else? Oh yes, I'm going to be doing a little segment there's this book that found its way into my home, and it's by his pen name is Young Pablo. This one is called Inward, and it is really cool. And for those of you who don't like reading, and I was one of them, this one is really cool because, as you can see in here, it's very easy to read, and it's the most simplified way in this book as an aid to help you to go inward and to understand what it means to work through your emotions and the anchors that tie us into suffering, and how we can, once we figure out that we can choose that we don't have to suffer anymore, but it's us that has to change within. As I said before, your outer experience is like a mirror. When you open your eyes, you will experience how it is that you feel within. It will reflect somehow in your outer experience. So I'm going to be doing a segment where I'm just going to be reading this, and posting it on my YouTube. And they won't be very long segments, just so, you know, a few pages, and then it just gives you something to think about and to meditate on, and just ponder on the words and what they mean for you. And I would, if and as I go along, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. Follow along. That's going to be really cool. I'm excited for that, actually. And I believe that is kind of everything that I want to talk about. I have my pieces here as I draw out each piece this week, and hopefully soon I'll be cutting these out. And here we go. I'm super excited. Onward and upward. So that's it for me. I am signing out, and I am going to go do, you know, regular everyday life shit and go to work, which I will tell you in another video, because this is not all that I do, as Angela and I are very busy creating this. We also do everyday life stuff, and I work for 8 to 10 hours at night, after I do all of my Agápē studio stuff, working with my pieces. So it's a very full plate, but when I find time and put more attention and energy on my creations, um, I find an energy to push me through to be able to go do that. And I want to talk about what I do in another video, because it just, well, I just hope that it might inspire somebody to, that you'll find that spark of energy that you need to just push through and do what you got to do to create something, that will eventually be sustainable. But it takes a lot of work. It just and I just want to talk about my experience, because we all, each and every one of us, have life stuff to deal with, and I just like to talk about my experience and how I deal with the things that used to stress me out, and some things, that don't anymore, and how I practiced and reacted differently to it, creating a different experience, which is why, and then being grateful for that, tying in that gratitude, which is why, things are moving quickly, to Agápē Studios. And I just encourage anybody to just try it. Try these things and see what comes up for you, and see if you, experience something different. And that is all, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in, and stay tuned soon for the upcoming any upcoming announcements. And have an awesome day. Remember that you'll start to experience great things when you realize that you're already part of something great. Have an awesome day, friends. Namaste.